The woman gave birth to twins, and after 10 days, she discovered the dreadful truth. Danielle had long dreamed of motherhood. After 3 years of trying, 2 miscarriages, and 1 emergency surgery, hearing 2 heartbeats in the ultrasound room felt like a divine reward. Tears streamed down her face. Her husband wept, and even the technician offered a gentle smile, stating, "Looks like double the love." The pregnancy was not easy. Nausea, bed rest, and sleepless nights. But when she finally cradled 2 tiny boys, both with smooth, dark skin, tight curls, and matching soft cries, every ache felt worthwhile. The hospital labeled them Baby A and Baby B. No one questioned it, as they appeared almost identical. Danielle wasn't concerned about who arrived first. She simply whispered the names she'd chosen long ago, Malik and Micah. The first few days drifted by in a warm, hazy blur: diapers, feedings, nurses in and out, and visitors bringing balloons. Her husband took pictures, beaming with joy. One nurse remarked how rare it was for both boys to be so calm. Even during blood draws, she noted they didn't cry. Danielle chuckled, thinking they were just used to being close. But by day 6, something began to feel off. Micah, or the baby she believed was Micah, had become more alert. He stared longer, reacting more strongly to sounds. While Malik was too quiet, Danielle dismissed it as a difference in temperament. But then odd moments occurred. One diaper lacked a hospital label, while the other had one. One baby had a birthmark beneath his armpit that Danielle swore she hadn't seen before. When she asked the nurse to verify which baby was which, the woman hesitated for just a moment. That moment haunted Danielle. On day 10, something shattered. It was late. Just after 3 a.m., Danielle sat half asleep in the rocking chair, breastfeeding one baby, while her husband snored gently in the nearby cot. The night shift nurse entered with a clipboard to check vitals. "Do you mind confirming the ID tags again?" Danielle asked, trying to sound casual. The nurse smiled and walked to the bassinet to scan the wristbands. Her expression changed, not panic, not confusion, just a blank pause. Danielle's heart raced. "What is it?" she whispered. Let me double-check something." The nurse turned and left the room with the clipboard, without saying a word. 30 minutes passed, then an hour. Danielle remained frozen in the chair, her arms cradling the baby against her chest. The rocking motion ceased. Her husband stirred awake. "Everything okay?" he asked. She didn't respond. Then the door opened. 2 nurses entered, followed by a woman in scrubs identified as admin and a hospital security officer. Danielle's body tensed. "Mrs. Akers," the admin woman began gently, "we need to speak with you privately." "What's going on?" Danielle asked. "There seems to have been an administrative mistake regarding your twins' identification." Her husband sat up straight. "What kind of mistake?" The woman hesitated. "One of the babies. The ID number on his band doesn't match your delivery file." Danielle tightened her grip on the baby. "What are you saying?" The woman continued, slowly and deliberately. "We believe that during the NICU transition on the night of your delivery, there may have been a mix-up between 2 newborns, 2 boys born within 20 minutes of each other." Danielle's eyes widened. "But they're twins. I had twins." The room fell painfully silent until the admin's next words pierced the air. "You gave birth to one baby, Mrs. Akers. The second child we believe was mistakenly placed with you." Danielle's knees buckled. She nearly dropped the baby in her arms. Her husband stood and caught her, keeping her steady as his own face drained of color. "I don't understand," he said. "Are you saying one of our sons isn't ours?" The admin nodded. "We're running an emergency DNA test to confirm. But it appears only one child is biologically yours." Danielle whispered, barely audible. "Then who is the other?" The answer would not come until the next day. But what she would learn would prove to be far more painful and far more unbelievable than she had ever imagined. Danielle didn't sleep, not that night. Not after the nurse brought in the DNA results. nor after the gentle words from the hospital's pediatric chief. There's been a confirmed mix-up, and the child in your care is not biologically yours. Those words echoed in her mind long after the room emptied, sitting with both babies cradled in her arms. Micah, her biological son, squirmed slightly in his sleep, while Malik, the boy she thought was his twin, lay still, one tiny hand wrapped around her shirt collar as he always did. She glanced down at them. How could she be expected to tell the difference now? The following morning, the whole story unraveled. A hospital administrator, a caseworker, and the NICU head nurse stood by her bedside. Another baby was born the same night delivered, the administrator explained, on the same floor and within the same hour. A woman came in under a false name with minimal ID, claiming she had no family. She gave birth, declined to nurse, and refused to stay overnight. The caseworker added, she left the child in the NICU. Assuming someone would sort it out, Danielle's husband asked what no one wanted to question. Did she abandon him? There was a pause, but the caseworker nodded. Yes. The stairwell camera confirmed she left at 4:37 a.m. without notifying staff. The baby Doe, was mistakenly transferred to your suite with your son. We believe the wristbands were mislabeled in the shuffle, and both were dressed in standard newborn hospital clothing. Staff had no reason to question it. Danielle parted her lips, but no words emerged. Her brain was grappling with the facts, while her heart was already breaking. They presented her with options, cold legal language, policies, protocols. We can initiate a safe handoff of baby Doe to state care. They said, he'll be placed in the foster system until next of kin is identified or an adoptive home is found. The room seemed to tilt sideways. She looked down at Malik, the baby who wasn't hers, or was he, who had fed him every 3 hours since birth, who had held him through gas pains, who had hummed lullabies into his ear when the ward lights dimmed. Danielle swallowed hard and replied softly, No, he doesn't go to foster care. The caseworker straightened. You have the right to apply for temporary guardianship, but the process can be, I don't care how long it takes. Danielle interjected. Her voice didn't rise, but it carried weight. I won't let him go. The hospital allowed them to stay for 2 more nights. Danielle hardly left the room. She bathed both babies herself. When staff offered to help, she declined. She memorized their breathing patterns, their soft noises, how Micah would stretch his fingers wide before nursing, and how Malik would always tuck his thumb against his cheek. Not blood, but bonded. On the 3rd night, her husband sat beside her watching the baby sleep. You know we weren't ready for one, he said quietly, let alone 2. Danielle looked at him. You don't want him. He reached over to trace Malik's cheek with a single finger. I didn't say that. A long silence ensued. Then he said, I don't know what he's been through. I don't know where he came from. But I know this. He faced her. He found you. A week later, Danielle and her husband were granted emergency guardianship of baby Doe. She signed the documents with tears in her eyes. Malik sleeping in her arms. The transition wasn't seamless. There were interviews, evaluations, paperwork, but Danielle persevered. She answered every question, attended every meeting. Why do you want to adopt a child that isn't biologically yours? One case agent asked bluntly. Danielle smiled. Because biology didn't feed him at 3 a.m. I did. Because biology didn't soothe him during his first fever. I did. Because when he opened his eyes, he looked for me. 6 months later, the adoption was finalized. Baby Doe became Malik James Akers, Micah's brother. Her son, no asterisk, no second-tier family. When friends and neighbors learned the truth, many posed the same question. Do you ever think about how different your life would be if that mix-up never happened? Danielle would hold her boys close, looking into their matching brown eyes. And she answered, I don't think about what was supposed to happen. I thank God every day for what did, because sometimes life doesn't adhere to a plan. Sometimes it places a child in your arms not by birth, but by divine accident. And in the end, family isn't chosen by blood, It's chosen by love. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. Let us know in the comments where in the world you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.